this might be a little bit interesting. Let me know that you're here, where you're from, and what you're doing. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Hi, Vicki. How are you? It's good to see you guys. So we're going to actually work with some triangles today. So I know I've got lots of really experienced quilters here that are watching the different videos, and we're doing one on Facebook. And hi, Melissa. How are you? So this is what we're going to do today, is the pinwheels. So far this week we have done yesterday we did a square and a square block. So we've been doing a live video every day this week, and this was the one that we did yesterday. And we did the 9 patch on Monday, so that one was pretty fun. And today we're going to do the pinwheel. Then for the rest of the week, we are going to have the churn dash, and we are going to have the log cabin block. So that's what our plan is for the rest of the week. But let's go ahead and get on to the pinwheel block. We have talked about different things on each of these lives. Hi, how's it going? So you guys, we are shipping out so many packages. It's been really fun. But for those that share the videos, I'm trying to grow my Facebook following, and then I'm also trying to grow my Instagram and YouTube following. So if you happen to share the videos, this is what we are giving away today. So what you'll get are 2 fat quarters right here, and then these are triangles, I'm sorry, and you're actually going to get your triangles pre-cut. And so there will be 4 blue triangles in your package and 4 pinwheel triangles in your package. So anyways, we'll just randomly, we've got 5 people to win today, and they're going to win this little block to go ahead and play with. And then you'll also win some additional pinwheel fabric that will go with your little thing. So, but I'm going to show how to make this block a couple different ways. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually make this pinwheel block with just some 5-inch squares. So, and you guys, I'm very curious. I've been asking all this week, what does everybody use for piecing their quilt blocks? I'm just curious. Are you a white thread person, a cream thread, a gray thread? I had a customer at Stitches Quilting actually order from me cucumber colored thread because she really likes to piece all of her quilt blocks with a cucumber color. So I'm curious what color thread you use to piece. Anyways, so if you can, comment in the gray. So we've got someone using gray. That's what I have on my machine right now, is a gray thread. So I've typically used a lot of gray thread. Sometimes if I'm working with a lot of white-based fabrics, I'll work with a white and sometimes a cream. So it's just been kind of interesting to see what people are using out there. So the reason why we use just a gray thread or something very neutral is a lot of our fabrics have a lot of colors. So, I mean, I guess if I wanted to for this quilt, I could pick like a red or a teal or something, but really there might be a lot of other colors in this quilt. So you just stick with the gray if that's what you want to do. So, okay, so you haven't done any quilting yet? You're too afraid? Melanie, don't be afraid. It's really a lot of fun, and it's great. Don't you guys think? I mean, quilting is such a wonderful, healthy hobby because it just puts us in a better place than where we could be. We could possibly be in some pretty negative, yucky spaces, right? But we get to quilt a little bit and get to be a better wife and a better mother, and get some me time and get some time where we're just doing our own thing. So that kind of works, and it makes us feel better. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to take these 2 lighter blocks just because that's kind of what I prefer, and I am going to draw a line on the back of my block. Vanessa, I don't think I sharpened that pencil. What did I do with it? I like to mark the back of my blocks with a pencil. Who knows what I did? I'm such a ninny. So let me go ahead. Okay. Oh, sweet Vanessa, you're awesome. Okay, so can you maybe pull that little
down?
Yeah, just down a little bit so they can see the cutting mat. So what I'm going to do, and actually I can maybe bring this at an angle, is I'm going to work on the design board right here, but I'm going to work on this harder, firmer side right here. And so I use design boards whenever I'm quilting because it's easy for me to kind of see what I'm doing. And I am going to draw a line on the back of this square. And what we're going to do is just draw this line with just a simple pencil. And I'm going to draw it from point to point of the square. And I'm doing it with this lighter colored fabric because I'll be able to see the pencil marking a bit better. Okay. Oh, Vanessa, I just thought of another thing. Would you grab that navy blue thread so they can see the stitching a little better for the top thread? I should probably do that. Okay, I didn't have to draw it so many times. It's pretty faint. Maybe I should be using maybe we should use like a major pen. I don't know, it's hard for them to see that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is here I'll draw this again, and it definitely is faint. I don't want to stretch the fabric too much. Anyways, let's see, Vanessa. Oh, thank you. Okay, here's just a black ballpoint pen. Normally, I wouldn't use a ballpoint pen, but I want you guys to be able to see it, and I'm not worried about not, making it work. I don't know, what do you guys use to mark your blocks? If any of you experienced quilters out there, actually, a pen is probably fine. Okay, so let me go ahead and mark this one again so you guys can see the marking on there. And this is just a very shortcut way to make a half square triangle block. If you go on Pinterest and just Google half square triangle quilts, oh my goodness, the things that you will find and see, and I mean, it's just amazing, the quilts that are out there that are made from half square triangles. So you can see I drew a line from 1 to 1. So pencil usually, Frixion pens. Anyone else? People use a lot of different things. So whatever you guys feel comfortable with, go ahead and mark the back of this. So I marked these two, and then what I'm going to do, actually they kind of need to be pressed just slightly, but I'm sure it'll be just fine. I'm going to match it up with my coordinating print that I'm going to use with this, which is going to be this little bicycle print that we've been using throughout the week. So I'm going to put these right side together, these two squares. And then what I'm going to do, Vanessa, I just thought of one other thing I need.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. But on that sewing machine right down there, in this little tray, there should be a 1/4 inch foot. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the edge of my sewing foot and go right along. I know, poor Vanessa, the poor thing.
That one?
Oh, you guys, it was so funny. Do you remember yesterday? Where is that iron? Oh, my son put it over there. Do you remember yesterday I had the iron and I was showing you guys how to use the EasyPress and how the iron had so many colors. I had this big, huge iron here. I was like, oh, well, I'm going to just drop this down on the floor because I thought the iron was off. It was not off. It burned my quilt. A quilt I have. It's up here. Look at this, you guys. I burned my quilt yesterday. Isn't that hysterical? Look, that's crazy. So no, my iron was not off and I actually burned that. But whatever, right? We always it's a good thing that there wasn't like a combustible fire that came up during the live video. So pretty funny. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stitch along there. Now, a lot of us quilters, is there any other feet in there? Or what about on the...
There was one other. Maybe.
Or what about on the foot itself?
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, is it on the foot itself? Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm gonna actually put in a 1/4 inch foot. So on my machine, a 1/4 inch foot looks like this. So you can see the 2 feet right there. And one of them actually is a 1/4 inch, which is this one right here. And it allows me to just sew right along a portion of my machine and follow the line on the edge, or the edge of the fabric on the edge of this 1/4 inch seam foot. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Oops, I broke my thread again. I am just a thread breaker. Oh, but that's good because I was going to put in navy blue thread because I want you guys to be able to see my stitching on the top and the bottom. And that gray thread, it just really blends in with the fabrics. It's amazing how blending it can be. Which you wouldn't normally think so. Okay, I gotta put on, hi Terry, hi Kathy, hi Minerva, hi Andy and Sarah. You guys are so sweet to join me today, this morning. Okay, so for those people that shared, go ahead and share. And then when you do share it, go ahead and put shared in the comments. And then we'll know what to do in order to, to go ahead and select people. And we'll select people from the beginning and from the end. But we're going to give away 5 giveaways today. Where's that cute little sample, Vanessa? Yeah, so she has this little darling thing. But so we're going to give away 5 of these little kits. It's enough of these triangles to actually make this pinwheel block, and then 2 fat quarters just in case you want to do more with the fabrics than just that. So we're going to be sharing these. There's going to be 5 winners today that will actually win that. So anyways, that will be a lot of fun. Okay, so remember, we're back to this point, and I have I've stacked up my 2 fabrics right here, right sides together, so that they're just right there. And then when I stitch, I'm going to actually follow on one side of the line, and then I'm going to come back and follow on the other side of the line. So let me go ahead and show you that. And we're going to do a technique called chain piecing too. So I'm going to line this up, and I'm putting my foot right next to the line that we're doing. So here's my other one. So all we need are these 4 squares to actually make this pinwheel block. So here we go. And we're gonna chain feed these. So can anyone explain to any other new quilters what chain piecing is? Yeah, pinwheels are great, but Google, when you guys are done with this, go to Pinterest and look up half square triangle quilts. Because you guys, with this one block, you can make the most incredible quilts. And right now I'm working with a 5-inch square, 4 5-inch squares of fabric. But if you bought, say, a 10-inch square of fabrics that come in a layer cake where they're already pre-cut, you can easily make a beautiful half square triangle quilt. And you've got to see just the amazing creativity. So now what I did, let me put this a little bit more in the screen. So what I did is I sewed this one, and then without cutting the thread, I'm chain piecing this other one straight through. So this is not disconnected. So I'm going to stitch this together like this. And we'll finish this one off. Let's go ahead and bring it over here. I'm going to just cut my thread. Sets, wait, let me read that. Chain piecing is sewing sets one after another without cutting the thread. So do you see that I sewed this, and you can see my stitching line. So there was my pen mark right here. And then I stitched with my 1/4-inch foot right next to the pen line. Now I'm going to turn it around, and then I connected these 2. So I didn't take the time to disconnect between these 2. And this is called chain piecing, and it makes it go a lot faster. So thank you for sharing some of those little explanations of what things are. So let's go ahead and do this again, and we're going to chain piece this again. But say you had 10 of these to make, it would go really quickly. It would go very, very quickly, and this would be maybe next week we should do a quilt start to finish and do a half square triangle quilt and do some lives on actually making a half square triangle quilt. I think that would be a fun idea to do. If anyone has any ideas on a pattern for a half square triangle quilt, let me know, because let's go ahead and do it. Nice, love those pinwheels. I do too. The pinwheel fabric is really cute. These are Riley Blake fabrics, and they've been great fabrics for me. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut this, and let me go ahead and show this to you again. I'll pull this away. So now you can see with my line that I just went ahead and I stitched on each side. It looks like, yeah, I did. I stitched on each side of that pencil line or the pen line so that you guys could see the marking. Let me head and go up a little bit closer for you guys. I think everybody can see that. So now I'm going to lay this down, And let's go ahead and bring this one down just a little bit so you guys can see me cut. But you can see what I'm going to do is just take this. I can go ahead and trim the 2 blocks apart at this point in time. And then I'm going to lay down my ruler right where that pen or pencil line was. And I'm going to cut the 2 blocks apart right where that pen and pencil line is. So let's go ahead and lay this down. I'm going to just line it up right with the pencil line. And I'm going to cut. So there we've got these 2 pieces that used to be a square, now apart. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I'm going to just cut just right across there. Okay, so now we have 4 sets of that. Let's get our EasyPress iron, our Cricut EasyPress. So I've been really enjoying this Cricut EasyPress. Let me go ahead and put that sewing machine foot back over there. And what I'm going to do real quickly, and this is something that quilters kind of do, just so that our seams always look nice and flat, is I'm actually going to press my stitching line so that the stitches kind of sink into the fabric. So we've got this turned on. And the point about pressing versus ironing is we're doing more of an up and down motion as we are pressing. And we're just going up and down and up and down. So that sets the seam. Now what we're going to do is we are going to open this up and we're going to have 4 squares that look like this, which is pretty fast. So let's go ahead, turn that upside down. It's ideal to press from the back side of your block first. And I'm going to just press this seam over to the dark side of the fabric. So that red is a bit more dark than the actual red print on there. And we're going to just go ahead and line that up like that. And then now you can see that we've got that bending over a little bit. I'm going to press it a little bit more here. I should maybe turn up the temperature of this Cricut EasyPress. The Cricut EasyPress is an iron that is a big flat surface like that. And fortunately with an EasyPress, it has a carriage that you can just put it in and it doesn't fall off the table or anything like that. So let's go ahead and do this and lay that flat for just a minute. And you'll see it's more flat. Now I'm going to turn it over and press 1 time on the top. And you can press with the EasyPress on an ironing board, a towel, a pressing mat, whatever you'd like to do. So there's that one. Let me go ahead and just press these other ones now. And I will pull this over. Let's go ahead and lay that down. I could actually work on some of these at the same time. Would be fine. And then we'll kind of get a little mass pressing session out of this. But I do like this Cricut EasyPress. It's more of a press than it is an ironing. When you actually iron fabric, you can distort it and distort the actual shape of it, especially after it's been cut into a small piece. So we try not to, iron a lot. We try to just press and press our blocks open. So now I'm going to turn these around and press them on the top side. And then that will give us our 4 blocks. So let's go ahead and look at this. So let's take this to the design board now, and I'll show you how these 4 blocks will then become our pinwheel, which I'm sure you could probably imagine in your heads. So we are going to take a design board is just a piece of, I actually sell these for sale on my website at stitchesquilting.com if anybody's interested, but you can purchase them as finished, or you can make your own. You just get a piece of, oh, somebody help me, foam core. And you go ahead and cut it out the size that you want it, put felt on one side, and then you have the other side is just like a clear surface. So you can see when these are joined together, that gives you a pinwheel block. There are so many different ways to arrange half square triangles. It's just phenomenal. I think we should make a half square triangle quilt, maybe next week. Maybe I'll do it the week after. Oh, so here we've got something like that. You can see just all the different ways that you could arrange these blocks and the different types of patterns that you could get. But let's go ahead and go back to the pinwheel that we're looking at. But you can just absolutely anything. Has anyone made like a half square triangle here? And how's everybody's day going? How's everybody doing? Okay, let me think here. This does not go like that. One moment. I got to arrange these right. Anybody have some tips here on arranging these? Aren't they funny? Oh my gosh. I feel like they're really sticking to the design board now. Okay, so here we go. No.
Yeah.
There we go. That's too cute. Okay, that's a pinwheel. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew this one to this one, and I'm going to sew this one to this one. So we're going to fold it over like this, and I'm going to fold it over like this, and we are once again going to chain piece these into the sewing machine. So let's move this over, and let's go ahead and do this one first. Now, whenever I'm doing this, I am going to make my seams. So we're going to talk about matching up our seams. So in the quilting world, we call this nesting seams. So if you can see, my two flaps are actually going opposite directions. So if you looked at the two flaps of fabric right there, they could be straight up and down, right? But we're not opening our seams. We're going to go opposite directions of the seam. We're going to push them together with our fingers, and we're going to nest those two seams together so they match precisely. And that's the best way to go ahead and get your seams to match up. So let's go ahead and stitch this at our 1/4 inch seam. So in quilting, we're always using a 1/4 inch seam because mathematically, that's what's going to give us a finished block that's an accurate size throughout our entire quilt. So we're going to go ahead and stitch this down, but I am going to once again chain piece this with my other block. So we're going to bring this up, and I'm going to just stop midway through this little block. Let me increase my stitch length too. My sewing machine always turns on with a super, super tiny stitch length. It's crazy. Okay, so here we have this one. And once again, let me just make sure that I haven't flipped this around. That one's going that way, and this one is going over here. Yep, so those will work. I just want to make sure I didn't flip, flop this. Okay, so once again, I'm going to nest my seams in here, and that's what's going to make everything match up. So we're nesting it, and I'm going to start this right here. I haven't finished stitching this 1/4 inch seam right there. I'm going to just proceed to go forward and do some stitching right here. So today we're going to make a video, like a permanent live video, a permanent video that'll be posted out to social media. What are you guys doing today? And we're shipping a lot of packages because once again, we have an online store of fabric. So that's what our day will entail. Here are the two squares that I string fed together. And there's my 1/4 inch seam. You guys can all see that on both of these. Let's go ahead, and actually this one's just slightly crooked. I'm going to just fix that little 1/4 inch seam. I went a little wonky there, and go ahead and just kind of get that fixed up. Now we're going to go ahead and press these open. So we have our EasyPress again that we're going to use, and let's lay this down like that. So you can see this is what it looks like when it's opened up. And what's really great right here is we have a point, because we matched up our seam, where there is actually a 1/4 inch seam right here where we will join the two blocks together. So you can see that 1/4 inch seam, and both of these will have that. But we're going to press on the back side. And once again, here's our other side that has that little 1/4 inch point so that we can have our seams match. And we are going to push this over to the darker side as we're stitching this together. And let me go ahead and press the front. And we'll have a nice press there. And let's do the same thing over here. And this will come together very nicely. So this would be a great beginning quilt to actually make. Hi, Brooke, how are you? It's good to see you. Arrow quilt, yes. So arrow quilts are another one that's a really fun half square triangle quilt. So for those of you guys that just joined in, we were making a pinwheel block, but with half square triangles. But you can make a quilt with just about anything with half square triangles. So we have our two blocks. Let me go ahead and grab the design board again. So you can see we went ahead and we stitched this. And we have this block right here. We're just doing a beginning quilting series. And then we've got this block right here. So we've got our two blocks. And we are now going to stitch them this way. All right. And I'm actually using a really dark thread so you guys can see how I'm stitching. So I'm going to take these and stitch right across. Now we're going to talk about matching up this point right here so that everything matches up just perfectly, because we want all of these little triangle points to meet in the center, right? Which is not difficult. All you have to do is just properly nest your seams. One thing, the way you guys are going to get your triangles, because I'm not doing it where I'm shipping it to you guys as actual triangles. So there's going to be 5 people that shared their video today. In fact, let's go ahead and announce some winners of people that shared. So Kimberly, how do you keep your points in center from being bulky? Okay, very, very good question, Kimberly. I like that question. But so what we're going to do, in fact, let me finish this, is see these little triangles? I have taken off the points of the triangles here because it just is not necessary. You can see over here, that's been just kind of swapped off just a little bit on there. So you guys are going to actually get 8 triangles that are already cut in whoever wins this along, because people are going to win today. But I am going to actually, since I was working with squares, what I'm going to do is actually just snip off this excess triangles that are peeking out at the top of our quilt here. You can see that little bit of excess fabric, and I'm going to just trim that off so there isn't a lot of bulk here in the center when we're matching that up. So once again, let me go ahead and just trim off those little triangles. On the squares, with the people that are winning, people are going to win some little fat quarters and then their squares. And you can win, some people have won all week. And if you actually win each day, you know what I mean? You would have like almost a matching quilt to put together with these fabrics. So I trimmed those off. Now what we're going to do is match these up so we're going to once again match up these seams, and we're going to nest them. Because remember, I kept pressing my fabric over to the dark side, which is a joke here in quilting. Oop, this one is not pressed over the dark side, but I'm going to smash it over so it is. I should use a pin. Let me see here. Where's a pin? We're so funny. Okay, so for me, I would just smash this together, but I want to pin it for you so you guys can actually see a little bit of what I'm doing. And here is another little thing. Harbor Freight is a great place to buy these magnetic pin cushions, and you can actually store your pins in there. And it's about $2 for one of those, and it's actually made for holding screws and nuts and bolts and things like that. So let's go ahead and pin this. I have put this in absolutely and nesting my seams so that they're smashed in there right up next to each other. And I'm going to pin just exactly like that. So you can see right here that and whenever we pin, typically in quilting, we're pinning vertical to the actual seam, so that's put together like that. If I wanted to, I could actually pin over here on this side. I don't pin as much because I just try to precisely cut and then piece together, but I've been doing this for a while. So that's what you do. And we should look, oh, Vanessa, will you look online? Because you have it up live, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And look at some people that shared and let's name out some winners. If you win, please list your name because we're just about ready to finish this block. So we're going to once again go ahead and slide this in here. And go ahead and do that 1/4 inch seam again. And remember that little bit of space that was shown actually will then, oh, I'll show you this in just 1 second. Well, actually, we're going to just go over that little bit of bulk, but your sewing machine will go right over it. And I took out my pins as I went over. And let's just put this like that. So you can see here, we went right over that line. What your goal is there is actually, let me go ahead and show this to each of the cameras. There is actually a line and of your stitching line. You can see there's a point right there. We wanted to stitch right over exactly that point because that is going to give you a perfect match. So you can see right there with each one of these, you're going to just stitch right over that exact point. Let's open that up and let's see if it matched. What do you guys think? Pretty good match, don't you think? Isn't that pretty crazy? So we just need to press this. But look at what a great match that was. And it's so simple. You're just nesting the seams and then you're crossing over the intersection of these seams that are going together. Doesn't that look like a great block? Do you see some people that shared?
It's Melanie Saffron. I'm not, let me see.
So Melanie Saffron,
Mm-hmm.
there's another winner. I think, Melanie, I think you won before. So this will be, I think, didn't you win before? So we ought to combine it. Maybe we already shipped your packages like yesterday or whatever, but we'll ship you another one and give me another winner
Let me see here.
from Facebook. And I'll look on Instagram. Let me look. Okay, RS Island Crafts and Kathy Winger. Let's go with those two. So Kathy Winger and RS Island Crafts. Now what I need you guys to do is to actually direct message me your, okay, good, Melanie, good. Direct message me your address so I can ship you your blocks, okay? But look at how great that looked. Okay, let's go ahead and press. But you guys look, I mean, that wasn't much time and I was explaining it. But once you actually get these going and you make a whole bunch of them, oh, they go so quick. They just go together so quickly and so fast. And you've got a quilt with triangles on it. You know, people think that it's sometimes, you know, too much work, but it's actually not. Let's go ahead and get that turned back on. The Cricut EasyPress actually turns off by itself, which is really nice. And we've got one more winner because we're going to do 5 today. So let's go ahead and do Jackie. Because Jackie, I know you've been on here all 3 days and you've been doing stuff. So, and you always congratulate everybody too. So Jackie Holbert, right? Did I say that right? So there we go. So we've got 5 winners today. So I pressed the back side of that. Look at how beautiful that block is. And here is another one. And this is the colorway that you'll get is actually this one right here. Or with these colors. But when you get your package, it's going to look like this. So I'm going to actually have the triangles pre-cut out for you in a little baggie. And then you're going to get some little fat quarters. So you guys will be able to make something really sweet with this. It's really kind of fun. Anyways, so we went over some basic concepts today. Let's go ahead and review. We went over making triangles, making a triangle from 4 squares. Can you believe that we actually made this little block with 4 squares? But go on Pinterest and go check out, search half square triangle quilts. It's just phenomenal. Next week, we're going to, well, the rest of this week, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this log cabin square. If you guys want to, you can go and watch the videos that I did on Monday of this 9-patch or the square in a square. But we're going to do the log cabin and we're going to do the churn dash, wherever that little cute block is. I don't see it right now. Anyways, it's around here. But so we're going to do some more of these. I think next week we're going to do start to finish just a basic square block. Let me go. Vanessa, will you pull that one camera back up? So we're going to do a basic square block for you guys to teach you from start to finish to sew your blocks together, string feeding them, and then after that, then putting all of those squares together to make a quilt top. I will also show you how to layer your quilt once you have the quilt top done. And then how to actually machine quilt it on a domestic sewing machine. So you don't have to ship it out or send it to a long armor or somebody like that. So that's a really good thing to do. And then I think the next week after that, because we'll just work with basic squares this next week. And then the week after that, let's do a half square triangle quilt. And we'll make it from 10-inch squares. And it'll be really easy and really fun. So anyways, anybody have any tips that you want to share with people or anything like that? Because I think that kind of covers our blocks today. We definitely went over some good things. The one last thing I would do with this block, let me grab that square ruler. If I put it somewhere, there we go. So I would square up this block after stitching it together. So you can see not every single, like for example, right here, it's got a little bump right there. So you always, after you stitch together your blocks, you want to square them up so that they're just perfect. So that, because when you stitch another block to another block, you want those to be done. So yeah, don't be afraid to get started, you guys. Just go for it. You're getting your little fabrics in there and everything. If anybody needs, you can go get a coupon at Joann's to get a rotary cutting blade and a mat and a ruler. You just need just the very, very basic. So don't be afraid to get started. It is so simple. It just really is. And it feels good. Doesn't it feel good to put something together? And one really neat thing about quilting is when you quilt, you're actually making like an heirloom, something that someone might keep forever. And that'll be carried down through generations. And the love you get, the love that you can share as you make someone a quilt is just phenomenal. Have you ever received a quilt as a gift that someone made for you? I mean, it's just a phenomenal gift, and it doesn't have to be a difficult quilt. There are some really easy finishes of quilts that you can do. Do you see how square this block is now? This is what you want to do. So you always want to square up your blocks. And I'm just using a square ruler. You can do it with a straight edge ruler, whatever ruler you might have. So don't go out and go crazy buying tons of stuff. Just a simple straight edge ruler would have done that too. Anyways, but this is a pinwheel block. All of you guys can make it. All of you guys can do it. Tomorrow I'll come on and either we'll do the churn dash block or the log cabin, which those are two basic blocks that lots of people always learn when they start sewing. I have a quilt that your Nana made for you. See, Kimberly Norman. It's really special when people actually make a quilt for you and share them and do that. It just makes you feel so spectacular. So everybody, be sure that the people that won, go ahead and send me your addresses so I can ship you your fabric for your blocks and the extra fabric that I'm sending. And so you can direct message me and we'll go from there. So you guys, we'll have fun tomorrow and we'll have some more giveaways. And if you guys win every single day, you'll have like a cute project that you can make with us. So anyways, we'll see you guys a little bit later and have a great day. So it's so fun seeing you guys and so much fun sharing time together. Well, we're going to go and make another video that will hopefully be a great video that's helpful for people out there, out in the world. So it's fun to see everybody and everybody from all the different places. Have a great day and let me know if you have any questions. We'll see you a little bit later. Thanks for saying they're fun fabrics. They really are, Kimberly. All right, have fun. We'll see ya.